Well. I think we finally made it to the end of this long. For me, I would say nearly 6 days of non-stop wrestling, pretty much. Okay, of WrestleMania weekend. For WWE standards, it's been what, 4 days? For any other wrestling show you have watched in these past, I would say since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way to Tuesday, that is 6 days worth of wrestling, I should say. And with Smackdown, I should say, be the final stop to this very long, exhausting weekend of, if you watched WWE, if you watched any other promotion from NJPW, Impact, Ring of Honor, GCW, MLW, whatever wrestling promotions out there, NXT, anything pretty much. I would say, hey, good luck if you watched all to it. And, if you went to the show also, because I'm sure thousands of people who travel the entire world to come to see WrestleMania or whatever was going around on WrestleMania weekend. But SmackDown being the last stop here in Brooklyn again, back to back, which I was hoping at least for a better show than what I saw on Raw last night, because that was a very disappointing Raw after WrestleMania, and the only thing I honestly cared about was the end of the show, because that's when the crowd was hijacking and chanting either AEW or playing with the beach ball or bullshit a CM Punk. And it just felt very lackluster to me. If you want to see more, see what I had to say in my Raw review of what I thought about Lars Sullivan, of his debut, and the return of Sami Zayn, and Undertaker being there. So just that Raw was just very confusing to me on some points, and it's like some people have already read today that this Raw, especially during that winner take all match, was to be a hook so that they could try to have everyone watch for 3 hours to beat the NCAA finals that was going on right now. So that's kind of the thing from that. But like I said, with Raw being a very, which, like I said, I don't blame the crowd. It's just, you felt like you were waiting all night for something. Something about it, you looked like you were waiting. Like I said before, you were just waiting on some big moment to happen, and it didn't really come. Okay, it really didn't come. Yeah, you got a return and Taker and a debut and stuff, but what was really special, other than some people probably getting jobbed out, maybe, which will probably tell that they are going to be switching shows next week when we get to the shakeup. And I'm sure a lot of that show tonight, which I'm sure people are already saying right now that the brand extension does not matter at this point, and almost look like it's spoiling it for you to who is going to be on what show next week if they showed up tonight. Maybe WWE was just testing it with people, maybe reactions to see how it goes. I could be wrong, because the people I saw it from Raw tonight on SmackDown, or vice versa from last night, which tells you who's moving to what next week, which some of these people need a desperate change of scenery to begin with. Will it work out well for them? I don't know. I got no clue, but we will get into that. But as we did kick off the show, it was the New Day celebration for Kofi Kingston being the WWE champion, as he talked about how, which, Biggie had the mic, and he talked about how the WWE Universe cried, tears of joy for a man who's an A-plus player with extra credit. That is Kofi Kingston. And, as he won the WWE, he broke his foot off in the vegan cheeks of Daniel Bryan. He said that, he is now the new WWE champion, and I guess it's a big moment, as he said. Yeah, as I say, he said it was a big moment, and, as they talked about Kofi Woods, he said, this is, Brooklyn, this is your boys, this is the New Day, and everything, and, they talked about what happened on Raw last night with, Biggie doing the splits, which it was still fun to see, but Biggie said, Kofi, Biggie said, mentioned that Kofi just close, he almost became a dual champion last night. He almost did. Pretty much like Becky Lynch and everything, which of course people had to cheer for when they kind of paused for a second. But he said, it's back to be home on SmackDown. And they say, tonight wasn't about humor or anything. This is about celebration because, Woods say, we're celebrating the career of our friend Kofi Kingston. And, Woods, which is actually a moment for him, he said that, he talked about how he watched Kofi's debut from almost 11 years ago. And he talked about getting a chance to meet him because when he finally made it to WWE, he said that me and Kofi was like meeting one of his heroes. So he had watched Kofi Kingston since the beginning of his debut, and it meant a lot to him. So that was pretty cool to hear. Big E pretty much said, that together they had come able to reshape the culture and change history, and that's what Kofi did last Sunday. And, they pretty much congratulated him on behalf of, Woods, Big E, and everybody in the WWE universe. Congratulations and everything. But Kofi pretty much, paused for a second. And they even got to do, what they do? They even did, like, the Big E split thing again. Which they said, well, you got to do it again. Which I swear is about to be some holy shit chance there for a second. With I think it was when Big E said, he did the split again like he did on Raw last night. So that was pretty cool and people wanted to see it. Kofi pretty much then said, because this was an impossible moment because this wasn't in the script, this wasn't in the cards. That this now, none of this was supposed to happen. None of it was. And he's actually right. It is true. None of this was really supposed to happen because it's like everyone says, if Mustafa Ali didn't get injured, would we be seeing this right now? I gotta be honest. Would we be seeing it, and would it have on the same level in reaction and story like it did with Kofi? I don't know, but I'm just glad in a way that I'm not saying glad he might get injured, but this that injury and everything was just, I should say, it just opened a big opportunity for Kofi. So it's like he said, none of this was really planned, none of this was supposed to happen. And it's like people said, if it wasn't for one injury from someone, some say he would not be in this position right now and be the WWE champion. So you really got to think about that sometimes. Which, we said this before, but just really think about it. But, Kofi then talked about, his family then, and, from his kids and his wife being right there by ringside, and that they inspired him and supported him since day one. And everything, but as they continue to talk and the New Day celebrated, once again the bar comes out, which immediately there are shut the fuck up chants at the bar as they continue to talk, because they say, you owe us a big thanks for saving you last night from Seth mopping the floor with you, and say they would like to have the title now, but Sheamus said he said he would have lost his first title defense, I believe. He said Kobe would have lost it, and he would have been a B-plus player again. Like I said, the fans continue to chant shut the fuck up at Sheamus and Cesaro. He pretty much told Kofi then, you wouldn't be anything without your buddies right there. So how about a challenge, a 6-man tag? But Big E pretty much says, all right, the match is on, but your numbers are a bit off. It's only 2 of you guys. I thought you were going to do another Scott Steiner promo, math one. But the bar said we made a new friend at Raw last night. And who do they bring out? Drew McIntyre, which almost foreshadows that. This is what I said a couple minutes ago now about people showing up from Raw, which may tell you that they're going to show up from, people that show up from Raw, which may tell you that they're going to be ending up on SmackDown next week. And what's weird about Drew being in this? Wasn't Drew just in almost a group stable before, and now he's almost look like he's back in one? Because when I look at Sheamus, Cesaro, and them, it's almost like a League of Nations 2.0, and I just keep thinking they're gonna do that idea for some reason. I don't know why, but something tells me they would do that, make another League of Nations, and Drew being on SmackDown. Should he be on SmackDown? If that's the case, maybe. But come on, we all knew he wasn't going to beat Roman last Sunday at WrestleMania. And, it's kind of, these three want to face New Day. And first off, I'm sure people are already sick of the bar after what happened last night, anyways, of just how ridiculous that main event was. And somebody said before, like, wait, didn't all three of these guys lose their matches at Mania? So how can they be taken seriously now at the moment? But I don't know if Drew's going to be official on here on SmackDown. Like I said, this is probably a preview. Maybe he is on SmackDown next week, for all I know. But like I said, good segment. Very good celebration, which, it was legit. So people really was out there to celebrate Kofi. And, let's say a real cool story from Xavier Woods when he was speaking about it. Next, 6-man tag match. Ricochet and Aleister Black team again with Mustafa Ali versus Nakamura, Rusev, and Almas. As the match began, fans started singing Nakamura's theme song, I will say, his regular one, so at least it was actually fun to hear that again. This was not a bad 6-man tag, I will say that. I did hear some Rusev Day chants out there, which was pretty good, which was pretty good, the Rusev Day chants. But this match was this was a good match, I will say this. Really chaotic 6-man tag. I did like when Black does that flip and sits back into Indian style position, and Ali and Ricochet roll in to join them, which looked pretty cool. Pretty much what do you expect? A lot of chaos going on near the end of this match. Black taking Nakamura down with a black mask. Andre hit the elbow on that back elbow he did on Black, which knocked him into Ali. Ali pretty much kicked him, hit the 450 splash for the win. So insanity all over the place in the end, but more craziness happens there right after that. What happens? RKO by Randy Orton on Mustafa Ali for no reason, and I liked what Orton did. Like, you could see, like, I can see the lights taking a shot at, I guess, WWE's production after what happened last Sunday at Mania, that no one could really see the AJ Styles and Randy Orton match due to the lights being so bright. And Orton went out and apologized on Twitter for, WWE's pretty much fuck up of the lights and missing a great match. Like, I like that Orton, like, I can see it. Did y'all see that? Did everybody see that? Did you see the RKO? Did you see it? Which, of course, the fans popped for. But then pretty much right after Orton hits an RKO, Rusev, I guess, is still in the ring trying to help up, pretty much knocking Ali out of the ring. What happens? Stone Cold Stunner by Kevin Owens. So that's another crazy move that just came out of nowhere. What are you doing? Set up feuds between Ali Orton and Kevin Owens and Rusev? Or why did they do this? I don't know, okay? But we just got to have something crazy going on. But I did kind of like Orton, doing, the lights kind of taking a shot at the production team for what happened last Sunday at Mania. Pretty much after that then, tonight was going to be the Hardys versus the Usos for the tag titles, which, why did they not do this at WrestleMania when it was rumored to be at WrestleMania, but they were just like, no, we're just going to do it on SmackDown tonight? I got no clue. But the Usos, they congratulated Kofi. That was first, but, they said, they're going to prove they're the best brothers in the WWE and the best tag team in WWE history. Next thing you know, R-Truth and Carmella come out as they talked about the 7-second dance break from Mania, and that Carmella won the Women's Battle Royale, and talked about what she did last year from cashing her Money in Bank to become champion. She may have lost the title, but she gained a friend, and, she, thanked Truth for doing his part, and that she's going to do big things since he won the trophy, which I'm sure that trophy will stick around for 3-4 weeks, maybe a month. It'll disappear. It'll go back into non-existence. Samoa Joe then came out as him and Truth pretty much brawled for a second. Truth was going for the axe kick, but, Joe choked him out and just threw him to the outside of the ring then. Joe pretty much had the microphone. He says, I destroyed Rey Mysterio in 60 seconds at WrestleMania, and this is a warning to anybody. It'll take him less time to destroy anybody if you want to come out right now. Next thing you know, Braun Strowman comes out, and him and Samoa Joe brawl. He starts splashing into him. Joe had to continue to clutch in, but Braun pretty much kept knocking him into the back of the turnbuckle. He was going to go for the power slam, but it looked like his arm or something gave out, and Joe got out of there and pretty much, heading back up to the ring with his title. Braun Strowman was heading up to the ring then next. But then next thing you know what happens, the Iconics come out, which he just looks at him as they try to shake his hand, and they just move on. As for Strowman coming out, does he really need to be on SmackDown if that's the case to go against Samoa Joe? Which now pretty much tells me that Samoa Joe would lose this feud, knowing this company of how they've done Joe in the past. Because it's like, I would like to see these two giants beat the crap out of each other for the title with Joe and Strowman, because Strowman now literally needs a new change of scenery, because number one, we can't have all the giants on Raw. You just brought Lars Sullivan, and we're gonna get that crowd reaction that happened later in this review. But I know they love putting all the giants on Raw, but you got to put someone different on SmackDown. Does Strowman really need the difference on SmackDown? Yeah, because Raw was not working for him. Because you either gonna lose the Roman or you're gonna lose the Brock. All right, and that was the case with him. All right. They had a chance to make him the champion over there. They pretty much squandered it, and they made him into a joke, almost like Big Show. If they keep him on SmackDown and have him go against Samoa Joe for the U.S. title, maybe it can redeem something. But I feel like they would just have him win anyways just to beat Joe. I just feel like they just try to screw with Joe. But I don't know. I'm just taking a guess right here. Because Strowman, I don't know, man. That Andre thing didn't mean crap to him, okay? It didn't mean crap for what he did at Mania last Sunday with the whole Andre the Giant Battle Royale thing. So, is it a preview, I should say, to shake up? Yeah. But does this kind of, beat the point of the brand split of just having a random guy show up on Raw and SmackDown? Yeah, it's just like, well, okay, I see the brand split doesn't exist if we're pulling off stuff like this. So, there you go. But, Strowman and Joe having a little bit of brawl. It was okay. Next thing you know, of course, the Puppet Wyatt promo happened again. The Iconics are in the ring saying they were fighting champions. And I guess they went against these jobbers named Carissa and Kristen, the Brooklyn Bells. Which, this wasn't much of a match, I should say. Iconics win. And they had Paige watch backstage, okay? And I sit there and wonder, why did they take the belts off Sasha and Bailey at this point? Just makes no sense to me, just to put it on these two. I still think that match was bad at WrestleMania, that Fatal 4-Way thing. That was not a good match. And just the Iconics winning doesn't make it any better. And then they have Paige watching the back saying, just the shake up next week, so I'm going to have a women's tag. I'm going to bring some new women's tag team up. All right, she says that, their win is impressive, but, she's going to bring an impressive team. An impressive team of her own. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking right now, could be the Sky Pirates, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane. I don't know if they're done with NXT yet, and first off, there was no NXT debuts tonight. Let's get that. I will say I did enjoy that NXT chant earlier in that 6-man tag, since mostly everybody was from NXT, and everybody mostly was from NXT in that match for sure. Nakamura did probably miss NXT right now, given what the main roster booking has done to them. But could it be the Sky Pirates? Could it be Paige, teaming back with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville? What was it called? Absolution or something? I don't know. I got no clue. But I'm sure a lot of people are thinking right now, the Sky Pirates. Yes, they continue. Oh, excuse me. Yes, the Sky Pirates, though. But, as I said before, we'll see what happens with the team next week, which I guess maybe at least having Paige do something again. I will say that. I was wondering what they were going to have Paige do other than promote her movie. I don't know how well that sold in that. But we'll see what Paige does. Maybe she'll be a manager again, for all I know. Hopefully she takes back those comments she said back a few months ago, which I thought was ridiculous as ever. But we'll see then from that. We'll see what team they do bring in next week, though. Probably could have brought him in tonight as a debut, for all I know. But, what happens after that? Next thing you know, Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon came out. Of course, he had the Best in the World trophy, the Saudi one. And he talked about SmackDown being an amazing week in WWE for SmackDown, for Raw, from Seth winning the title to Kofi winning the title. Just reflecting on WrestleMania, but the biggest highlight of the show was him beating The Miz. And, saying he's the best in the world. The Miz in his rearview mirror. He's not here tonight. And, he's got to take care of, the baked potato dad. But he talked about Miz's dad getting in the eye in the ring and how he gave him a black eye then. The fans chanting, "You deserve it. You deserve it," to him. But, Miz got what was coming to him. And that's why he's the best in the world. And, of course, if you keep saying best in the world, of course, a big CM Punk chant happened, which was something I was waiting for. I know they did Raw last night, but CM Punk chants were happening then. Shane McMahon said, "Please, please," okay? And as people still continue to chant CM Punk, Shane pretty much had Greg Hamilton in the ring saying, you're lacking the introduction, okay? You need to do it again. But Greg said pretty much, listen, when I got to the arena today, people are threatening me. And, they're threatening me and stuff. And he was kind of feared from saying the best in the world or something bad was going to happen to him. But Shane pretty much said, don't worry about them. Okay, this is New York. This is Brooklyn. Stuff like this happens before. But you're going to do this. So he pretty much keeps pulling his tie until he gets the call right. So he has to keep saying the best in the world, 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 which was getting annoying as Shane keeps pulling him. Of course, more CM Punk chants continue to happen. CM Punk, CM Punk. As he continues to do, he says one more time, and you better make it count. So he pretty much says it one more time, and he just holds his best in the world. I would say it better, but my voice is not good. I am sick, and it just sounds bad. But he held saying best in the world for several seconds until he sent him back to his spot. As people still continue to chant CM Punk, Shane did his dance, and he was gone. Where does Shane McMahon go on from here? I don't know. Does The Miz return and fight him again? I don't know. Does The Miz end up for a Raw, for all I know, in the shakeup next week? I don't know. Do I want to see this feud continue? Not really. Is Shane going to come out here with the trophy and beat up Greg Hamilton every week to announce his name? Could be. Excuse me. I don't want to see it, but still, it most likely would happen for all I know, unless this feud is continuing, him and The Miz, which I still see happen after what I saw at Mania. So, yeah. But the CM Punk chants were fun to listen to. Shane, I don't know where this is going to go. Probably Hell in a Cell match next. Maybe for him and Miz. Could be. Or Money in the Bank fall. And a ladder match. Throw a ladder match in there. They'll be crazy enough to do that. The Usos when it gets the Hardys for the tag titles, which immediately told me the Usos were most likely going to lose. You want to know why? You want to know why, though? Because, why are the Hardys get a full entrance, right? But the Usos get a jobber's entrance. I want you all to think about that for a second. He gets a jobber's entrance. The Usos get a jobber entrance and they're the champions. Already in the ring with the titles. So, I don't know. So that's just strange. And I just wonder why we didn't get this match in Mania. As for the match itself, I thought it was really good. I did like that Jimmy Uso tried to do a whisper in the wind, but it didn't work. And Jeff hit his own whisper in the wind for the thing. Usos did get the win almost. As you know, I think it was Jimmy hit him with a super kick and they got the splash on Jeff, but Jeff kicked out. The Usos pretty much tried to go for the double splash, but Matt got out of there. Distracted him. Jeff dodged it. He pretty much dodged, and Matt hit a twist of fate. Jeff hit a swanton bomb, and next thing you know, the Hardys are now 8-time tag team champions. Matt celebrated with his family by ringside. They were about to say something, but what happens? Lars Sullivan comes out, and what doesn't make sense to me, So let me get this straight. The Usos lose. You got new champions, but you now have Lars Sullivan beat up the champions for some odd like reason. And since we don't even know what show Sullivan is on now too, so we don't know that. But the fact that fans either chanted "You still suck," and then I had to go look it up, the "You can't wrestle" chants. I don't think these things. I don't know, man. Just even giving off the reaction of Lars Sullivan from last night to now, it's not really been good to me. And of course, he did the freak accident and this diving headbutt thing, but it doesn't make a lot of sense just for the new champions just immediately get destroyed by Sullivan, okay? I don't even want to make him look like a big threat, but I don't think people kind of seem to care. Okay, they beat up the Hardys, and they just kind of, it wasn't like booze. It was just like, hey, you still suck and you can't wrestle. So I've already said what I had to say about Sullivan before. I personally still think the guy is green in a way. And listen, I know the panic attack, the anxiety attacks are bad, but I'm wondering, hopefully it doesn't happen again, but I can see people already saying he's just going to become another giant, be over for a few months, push him toward the title, and then they'll end up away ruining this one way or another. Knowing this company, okay? So, and I saw people tonight, they said this guy is like another version of Snitsky, or Snitsky is better than him. So I really didn't understand what was the point of them even coming out there. As for the Usos, which pretty much tells me they're going to be going to Raw. If they were there to just job to the Hardys and drop the belts to them, so, and the Usos show up on Raw. Because some people are saying right now, put the Usos on Raw, switch the Revival to SmackDown. Usos have done everything on SmackDown and pretty much beaten everybody, so I would understand what they would go to Raw. If the Revival goes to SmackDown, they just need a whole change of anything, because it's either it works or they just go to AEW at this point, for all I know. Usos, they're most likely headed to Raw just for dropping the belts right there, okay? So, could the Usos make the tag division better on Raw? I don't know. The division ain't that good as it is anyways, because who do you have? Hawkins and Ryder as the tag champs right now. Rude and Gable, which I never really thought of much. Heavy Machinery are just still a comedy team to me. Who else is a team? The B team. It's not a lot of good teams. And Ricochet and Black just continue to hover on whatever show they hover. Maybe things will change next week and we'll figure out what show these guys are on. But until then, they just wrestle on any show pretty much. But like I said, Hardy's the champions. I got no problem with that. But I don't know, the Sullivan thing, I don't know, man. We'll see what this thing goes. Because even people like, okay, he beat up Kurt Angle last night. Could he beaten up someone bigger, even though Kurt still lost the match? Because like it's not like he didn't win. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going with the Sullivan thing. I got no freaking clue. So we'll see. Becky Lynch came out. Big pop. Of course, they show what happened at Mania last night. We're not going to play the finish, of course. But Becky said that, the fans sang her song. And she said they had the voice of angels and everything. And, as Becky chants happened, she said she was going to do, as she said last night on Raw, she beat Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. And, to celebrate everything that she is the champion. After what happened last night of her fighting Lacey Evans. Pretty much she did know, like she said before, she's walking around with two big targets. And, she's pretty much working double duty right now because of the shake-up next week. Pretty much Becky can go anywhere. She's got both championships, so she can head pretty much anywhere she wants, if you ask me. So, double champion, I guess. Which, they continue to call herself the champ out there. Which, I'm sure they're going by what Conor McGregor said on Twitter, if you know that, of him saying the champ and everything. As people said, people chatted Becky 2 belts. But as Becky says, since she is a walking target and everything, she has went through hell to get her championships, and she's prepared to, walk, sleepwalk, anything, keep one eye open for the rest of her career, because you're going to want this title, you're going to have to come get me, because it's going to be you're going to go past the Red Devil, pretty much, to get those titles from her. But as Becky walked up the stage, as soon as she turned around, Lacey hit her with the woman's right, I guess. Even though she hit that same move last night, Becky just kind of sold it for a second, and they just pretty much, she pretty much had a brawl with Lacey. But this one almost looked like she was killed right there, okay? It looked like she was just killed by Lacey Evans and almost couldn't get up after she got hit with the one punch. I'm still not into this whole feud and everything of her versus Lacey Evans, even though it just kind of came out of nowhere. Because I've said before, what has Lacey Evans done in the past few months other than walk back and forth? Okay, she walked back, she walked forth, she walked back, she walked forth, she walked back, she walked forth. So what does she done to deserve any type of title shot? Okay, what has she done? And like I said before, like I said before, my bad. What was I gonna say? One punch last night, it's a big brawl. One punch tonight, Becky's on the ground, pretty much selling it like it was death or something, trying to get up. So I'm not really sure about this feud. And then when we come back from commercial, New Day, The Bar, and Drew McIntyre, who got no entrance as their match was about to begin. Sami Zayn, it came out for a second, which the people sang his music, his theme song, and he said, you're not worth it, walked away. There's not much to say about this main event, I should say, because by the second half of the commercial, first off, the minute they came back from commercial, what happens? Drew McIntyre pretty much was gone from this match. This is a 6-man tag, right? So why was he gone? He disappeared. He was just gone, and we never saw him again. So what do you want me to say from that, huh? He just disappeared. And because I thought he was in this team, because the last thing you saw of Drew McIntyre was what? He did that Alabama slam to Woods on the table, and then he was gone. Second half of the commercial comes on. It was just pretty much a 3-on-2. New Day wins. Trouble in Paradise on Sheamus. Match over. Pretty much nothing really else really happened, but Kofi brought his kids into the ring, his wife, and the New Day celebrated. There was a big Kofi chant, and that was the end of Smackdown. So WrestleMania week is pretty much done from this point. Who will get switched to whatever show next week? I don't know. As what I can say for SmackDown, I should say the SmackDown after Mania. It's not much to say from this, I should say, but what? It's just over, pretty much, I should say. SmackDown was okay. I thought it was good, but like I said about Raw, it looked like it was missing some big factor into this. Okay, it just looks like you were missing. I don't know. Like I said last, like star power, because we didn't see any AJ Styles on TV tonight or Daniel Bryan on TV. We didn't see any of anybody else that won a match, I should say, at WrestleMania. I'm just naming off a couple names here who did not show up tonight, because most likely they could be switched up on Monday and could be going to Raw. I already know people keep saying it's rumors of AJ Styles going to Monday Night Raw, for all I know. So I don't know what to expect, but expect a lot of changes. I can say that right off the bat, okay? So we don't know what to expect, all right? But at least it was a nice celebration, in the show. Kofi celebrates with his family. Everybody goes with the WWE Championship being won by him. And, everyone just has a great time with it, I should say. But, no NXT debuts, no returns, nothing. Okay, like I said before, you brought up too many NXT guys. You ain't done crap with them. So, will these switches, shakeups, or whatever do anything better for anybody? Because people saying right now, well, do we keep Sandy on SmackDown or do we move him to Raw? Like, dude, Sandy's been dead. Somebody asked me that tonight. They're dead, okay? They're freaking dead. But what do I see coming from this? I don't know what's next, but I guess we already got previews of shakeups, which I don't know. I just can't wait till next week and try to test everything right now. I don't get that. But we will see what happens. But this is my review of SmackDown. I'm gonna get out. I'm done from here. Check out my Raw After Mania review. Check out my WrestleMania 35 review. Check out my G1 Supercar review. Check out my NXT TakeOver New York review, or anything else that follows. It's been a long few days in wrestling, okay? A very, very long few days of wrestling. And it's just, my eyes have just been glued. And me being sick right now does not help. But I'm still trying to fight this cold and get rid of it, okay? So, there you go. But, it's been a long week, man. Enjoyable. And, I hope you enjoyed any review that I put up of what I thought about these shows. And, what we saw from him. But SmackDown tonight, Brooklyn, it was still a good crowd. I will say that. Still a good crowd. I was still, like, some good chants here and there. So there you go. But, I just said before, Raw after Mania was very, very disappointing. And probably not, just that a good one. And I've seen better Raw after Mania things happen. But, yeah, really no other NXT debuts pretty much. So we'll see who gets shaken up next week. Because I'm sure a lot of people were really thinking the Undisputed Era was going to be here. But nope, didn't happen. But I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about SmackDown. Tell me what you thought about this entire week of WrestleMania or whatever. Anything that you like during these past 5 to 6 days. Anything wrestling related that has happened during this weekend. Okay? So, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. We'll see what happens next week.